It's over. I'm about to show you why the baby bulls just initiated the biggest baby bear reach around of all time. The data is showing us. The charts are showing us. The time of the baby bulls comes closer with each passing Magoo. And once you see this chart, everything in your life will change, especially your gender. I'm your host, Spuds Magoo. And we have something to show you in this video that is literally completely mind-blowing. And we're going to be showing you so many things that let's just sum it up this way. It will blow your mind. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolute time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you're interested in earning ADA and Society with our pool for the next roughly a little under 5 months left, make sure to delegate there. And make sure to use the sign-up bonuses below for getting altcoins or trading. Over $8,000 in bonuses with BITGET and over an additional $8,000 combined with BITGET and Femex as well, using the sign-up links below. It just takes 2 or 3 minutes, and there are tutorials linked at the end of this video and in the description as well. And without any further Magoo, let's dump in. Unbelievable. So this video is absolutely packed to the gills with Magoo, and I'm going to be showing you exactly on this chart what is going on. So first of all, let's get a little bit of a history lesson here. Just yesterday, the CPI came in at about 9.1%, so pretty high, higher than a lot of people are expecting. And now a lot of people are saying that the chance of a 100 BPS hike is almost, almost guaranteed. Meaning not 50 like the Fed said a couple months ago was going to be kind of normal after we got 75. So it's very likely, again, we'll see maybe a 75 or 100 hike, meaning that inflation obviously is worse than the Fed was predicting and pretty much as bad as most people, at least in crypto, were predicting. We all kind of knew it was bad, right? Inflation is bad. We were just printing money for the last 2 years, so that's not good. However, what exactly happened? So we got that news. Bitcoin had a little bit of a dip below 20K. Again, still holding 19K, but at this very second, it's right at about 20K still. And in fact, even having a little bit of a move getting closer to 21K earlier. Now, why is this big? Well, everybody, at least people in crypto, at least like what I follow on crypto Twitter, everyone's pretty aware that inflation, yeah, it's pretty bad. And it's probably higher than even this 9.1% figure that just came out for the month of June. Keep in mind, these are delayed a little bit. So this figure that just came out was for the previous month. June was pretty bad. I mean, gas prices were soaring. There were some other, like energy was soaring. And it's taking a toll on like the everyday person in the US specifically, making the cost of living, cost of goods a lot higher and putting a strain on people in terms of their finance and their financial ability. So is it possible though with this latest reading that we have essentially peaked? Now, in the short term, I think that can be argued, but I think overall it's very likely that, at least in the short term, that we could be seeing that short-term top here. And so I want to show you a few things. First of all, incredible analyst here, absolutely mind-blowing TA here, and I think this is absolutely just very important to note for Bitcoin. But I want to get into this chart. This specifically is what I really want to talk about, but I want to talk about a few things first. So specifically with inflation. So adjusted for inflation, wages are near historical lows, and the average American citizen is not doing so well in terms of their ability to live, in terms of their ability to purchase and to get their basic needs for the most part. So you can see that here, I mean, historically, this goes all the way back to 1974. We're below all of that. And you can see here, US inflation did hit 9.1%, the highest rate in over 40 years and way hotter than expected. And then there's also core CPI as well, but just normal inflation is absolutely, very high. Consumers are stressed, and you can see here that it's just absolutely soaring here. And again, it's exacerbated by what the last 2 years of money printing has done for us. But you can see here, there's roughly a 4 1/5 or a 80+% chance we're going to see a 100 basis point hike coming up here. Whereas according to this, a week ago it was like a 0% chance. Now we're about to see like it's basically almost guaranteed. I think 75% is minimum guaranteed now at this point. I doubt we'll be seeing a 50-point increase. At least 75, most likely 100%. The last time that inflation was above 9% was about 40 years ago, back in 1981. And you can see that, again, it's just very likely we're going to be seeing this. And again, before we get into the charts, I want to show you this as well. So what exactly are whales doing? And again, this is a metric a lot of people look at. People in the know and people with a lot of experience or a lot of money involved in crypto, this is an opportunity that is slowly being looked at as an opportunity to pounce on the market, to get involved, to scoop up, because this literally, again, you cannot predict the exact bottom until you look back historically, because again, things can change day to day. Nobody knows exactly the day things bottom and the exact second to buy. However, more and more things are showing up that, okay, as we get more and more data, as time passes and we start to see how everything's developing, this looks as though this actually might be the premium opportunity. Again, you cannot tell for sure until later on, so you can only do educated guessing, basically. Richest non-exchange Bitcoin whales continue to gobble up Bitcoin as the largest crypto by market cap hovers near 20,000 US dollars. And you can see here the whale address has added 1,500 Bitcoin since June 30th, so just the last 2 weeks, bringing its total about 132,000 to almost 133,000 Bitcoin, almost 3 billion. And remember, it would be worth like 9 billion, actually way more than 10 billion if we went back to all-time highs. Big wallets also are on the rise, noted by Sentiment, a crypto analytics firm. And the amount of Bitcoin addresses holding 10 plus Bitcoin has ramped up, particularly since the mid-June drop. In the past 30 days, these addresses have increased by over 1%. There are 150,000 addresses holding 10 Bitcoin or more, the most held since February 2021. And this is an interesting thing to look at. But mainly what I want to look at here is this too. So when we dropped down here last summer, where we spent 3 months, May 20, like the end of May or middle of May to the middle of July, roughly about a 2-month period, trading very, very low here, we saw a massive recovery that ended up being, we did set a new all-time high, but we ultimately kept going down here and entered a bearish trend. But we see here that marked the bottom of this before we had a move to the upside. And we saw the 3-day MACD cross, and we're seeing that exact same situation here. We saw pretty much as soon as it crossed, we saw a massive upswing to the upside. And what I think is important to note is that we spent a lot of time dumping here, but we spent a lot of time, this was like right after all-time highs, and we went straight into a dump and then immediately bounced. But now, after these all-time highs, massive dump, followed by massive dump, followed by massive dump. Basically, right here, indicating, in my opinion, I mean, my goodness, I don't know how a lot of people aren't looking at this as potentially just like an amazing opportunity to long the market. You guys already know how much we're down. Bitcoin has lost over 3/4 of its value basically in the last couple of months, in the last like 7 or 8 months. And right now, what did we get? We've been talking about this for over a week. We've gotten this cross as of the last few days. We see the first hint on the 3-day chart that the MACD is crossing bullish here. Again, not to mention, it's not just TA and charts. We also saw the release of the CPI, giving us actual fundamental news or fundamental information about the economy and everything going on. Yes, inflation is bad, but Bitcoin didn't really dump. Yes, yesterday it had a little bit of a move to the downside, but it's still holding 20,000. Is 20,000 basically the ultimate floor? Now, again, 30,000 was the ultimate floor back last summer, but we did go below 30. We went all the way to like 28,000. We did go below 20 this time. We went all the way down to the $17,000 range. Is 20,000 going to be more than enough to enter a multi-month upswing? And beside from that fact, the DXY continues its absolutely historic run to the upside. I mean, zooming out, look at this. For the past year, it's gone straight up. It's gone up like well over or about 20 points in the last about a year. And a lot of people are predicting that this could top out very soon. As inflation is rising, so is the DXY. But what happens when inflation potentially stops rising? Have we hit the peak of it? It's possible that we're looking at a scenario like that now. A lot of people are very bearish, and they'll be watching this and they'll be hearing what I'm saying and say, no, there's no way we're going to be going down for the next 2 to 3 years. This is going to be the worst recession of all time. Maybe that's possible. But also it's possible that maybe that's not the case. And I think a lot of people aren't factoring that in. As simple as it is, I think a lot of people aren't really factoring that in. And as well, on the weekly chart, we see something very similar as we've been talking about. The MACD is also crossing over on these longer term time frames. And once this translates to the monthly chart, I have absolutely no doubt that this will be a more confirmed multi-month bullish uptrend, even if it is still within a wider context bear market. A massive opportunity for longing and accumulating and really playing this market in a very big swing trade, I think is very, very possible here. And so again, I think that we're not going to be at all time. We're not going to be at 30,000 by tomorrow, but I still think it's very, very likely that we have about half of this month left. I think it's very likely that we even touch in the $30,000 range this month. I think that's a distinct possibility. Now, we have to see how everything plays out. If we get some really bad fundamental news, some black swan event, obviously that changes things. But the way things are going, inflation looks very bad, but it looks as though that things have started to get a little bit better over the past 2 weeks. And if it continues, then the next CPI report that comes out in a month, for the month of this month, July, when it comes out, because this 9.1% was for June, when July's report comes out, it's very likely that, if we saw the worst at 9.1% and we see a drawdown for this upcoming month, which looks as though, based on everything we're seeing, again, the month is still only halfway over, it looks as though if that does happen, then this could be the beginning of the topping out of the DXY, the topping out of inflation in the short term, and a potential reversal with cryptocurrency. And at least in the short term, best case scenario, a very, very good pump, a long opportunity, trade opportunity, accumulation opportunity to where if you're accumulating here, flip it a little bit, whether it's spot or using derivatives or whatever. Very good, interesting macro swing in the market. Again, if we look back a couple of months from now and we see that Bitcoin has been going straight down, and let's say we're up around here, up around even the mid 30s a couple of months from now, I think a lot of people will be saying, see, Bitcoin just went straight down for 8 months. There was no way we weren't going to get at least a bounce. But right now, that's not the sentiment. Most people are telling you right now, no, that's not possible. We're only going to be going down. So in retrospect, people will be saying, oh yes, this made sense. Whether or not we did something like this after or we do something like this after, doesn't matter. This is the opportunity we're talking about now, this potential for a swing to the upside. And all I'm saying is, looking at this is one of the most realistic things I think that you will see on a chart, a move like this, especially after this. So if you guys new to your channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. Make sure to delegate with our ADA pool to earn rewards for ADA and Society. We're getting roughly about like 10 blocks per epoch, so the rewards are really great there for our pool. Roughly about 10 million in the pool right now. And as well, make sure to sign up with the trading links below if you're interested in trading, shorting, longing this market. Over 16,000 in bonuses, 8,000 specifically with BitGet, and that is available for US customers, right? You don't even need a VPN for BitGet. No VPN required for BitGet, so that's absolutely awesome for US customers there. Absolute amazing trading interface. I've said it before, some of these exchanges get bad reps because, well, people try to smear them, but overall, in my experience, a lot of these exchanges have been more solvent, more liquid, more customer focused than some of the biggest exchanges in the industry, and especially some of the biggest lending platforms in the industry, which we've seen over the past few months have gone bankrupt. For example, I believe Celsius just filed for bankruptcy today. Rest in peace. I've never promoted any of those lending platforms, and I'm not surprised, I guess, that they were gambling with their customer funds. Without any further ado, that's for me.